I do believe that it's the evidence is very strong, and there's a very high probability that it's real and it's not all in people's heads. That they may not be spirits. We don't know. They could be something else. They could be fire elementals. They could be something we haven't been able to describe yet or understand. But I don't think it's all in people's heads. That's what I think.
So you're thinking there is some kind of phenomena there.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
And that's pretty remarkable for him not seeing anything.
Yeah. See, the thing, what's interesting is even, Scott L. is the third co-host of Ghostly Talk. He's the second, actually, but he, because you came on board
I'm
after.
second today.
Yeah, you're second today, but you had come on board officially after Scott.
Yeah.
But Scott L. is, even though we go out ghost hunting, and we go to cemeteries, and we go to reported haunted places, with legends around them, where you're supposed to see women carrying babies and who fade off into nothingness, or
guys banging heads off trees.
Yeah, and where you're supposed to hear things, and we go to these places, and he's never actually had what he would consider a phenomena happen to him, but he still goes. And I've had two phenomena. Once I saw a shadow person, and then the second thing, I actually saw a ghost. And I really believe I saw a ghost. I know that I saw a ghost. I know I saw a shadow person.
I believe that you.
Yeah, and you believe that I believe that I saw it, yes. And the thing is, he's never had that, yet he still goes, which is really, you've got to give him credit.
Yeah, he's very passionate.
So I give you all the credit in the world, Winston, for going and participating in that event.
You're not just sitting on your can typing stuff that you have no idea about.
Yeah, you're doing stuff, and I think that's phenomenal. Yeah,
I do. I mean, I am sort of, a truth seeker who likes to explore and experience things,
Ooh.
I do seek these opportunities, and just to see what will happen, and then I'll evaluate it afterwards. And I did write a little short report of it, which I can send you sometime. But
we should put that up. We can put that on the
That's what people should do. I mean, try to experience it for themselves. It's one thing to just sit there and look at the evidence and just judge it based on that, but it's another to actually try to put yourself in someone else's shoes and who's experienced that and see what it's like,
Part of the hard...
Like to talk about a foreign country without ever going there, it's just not as credible if you haven't actually been there for a while.
But I believe some of those foreign countries exist because some of the people I respect have told me that they exist. So I think they at least exist. But yeah, for me to talk about how you've been abroad just over the past couple of months. You went on several trips, right? And so you can talk from firsthand experience about the Orient and different places like that. I, of course, can't talk from firsthand experience, but I can relay stories. That's all I can do. I have one of the hard things about skeptics is that there's even a little bit of skeptic in me, even though I've seen there's a big skeptic, I guess, in me. I would like to see scientific proof. That's never going to happen, though, is it? Or do you think it could happen?
It could happen. It just depends on what you would consider scientific proof. If you're talking about instruments that can detect spirits or ghosts, that may be possible and it may not, because ghosts and ESP or your consciousness. Some theorize that they're not exactly a form of energy that you can measure. Some people theorize that at the quantum level it has to do with everything being interconnected at a quantum level, and there being really no separation between things, kind of like a super hologram, kind of like I don't know if you've read the book by Michael Talbot called The Holographic Universe.
I have not read that yet.
Yeah, it's a really, really great book. It's a must-read, and he really has a theory that the universe is a giant hologram, and there's a lot of discoveries from the paranormal and from it's sort of like a unified theory, because if it was true, it would explain how things can exist, like ESP, ghosts, and God, and time travel, and all kinds of things. It's a theory that points to how they can exist and all be true at the same time. Kind of like an omnijective universe with many dimensions, all cross-layered in the same space, but all vibrating at different frequencies.
Well, it would be good to know that we're not, seeing things or misinterpreting. But one of the hardest things about skeptic arguments is that, to an extent, there's certain things that I can see in some arguments that I've heard. For example, there's a very well-known thing, they show it on TV sometimes and things like that, where they recreate a crime scene, right? Or a crime it's scheduled to happen, although the audience doesn't know it. And this crime happens, like somebody will run through an auditorium of people and steal a person, then run off the stage or something like that.
They have to guess or repeat back to what they were wearing or recall. Basically.
Yes, and then people have to rely on their memories of the event to describe what happened, who they thought it was, or what the person looked like, and what they took. Sometimes people don't get what they actually stole correct.
To see if they're a good observer.
Right, and it's all observation skills. And I can see where, like that one time I saw a ghost, it was like for a brief millisecond or something. It was very, very short period of time.
I don't tend to see things like that.
I don't either.
I don't tend to see ghosts or hear voices or anything like that. So, and I guess I'm just not attuned to that. So for me to experience something, would be very convincing to me, because some people try to see those things, but they don't, and
Well, I know that I didn't. I know that I saw something. I know I saw a ghost. It's just like that. I just really do, and I can even describe what I think I saw. But my own observation skills. When I see something like that, where they do an experiment where a person runs in and snatches a person, runs off the stage, and then everybody has to try and describe what they saw, I'm wondering, what about my own observation skills? Because I'm only human, right? And I know that I saw something, and are my observation skills in question too? So could I turn my own skeptical side of myself around on myself? I can't convince myself that I did not see something, because I know I saw something, and I know I almost.
But you've seen something.
Yeah.
But see, they're asking for detail.
Oh, that's true. I think that the entire audience, even in that thing, they saw somebody run in, grab something, and run off. Yeah. So they all know something happened right away.
Yeah, for you to describe what that.
Yeah, was he wearing a hat, or was his eyes blue, or whatever? I probably wouldn't know.
That's proof for you, but for a skeptic, that's not proof. They will see, what you saw as being far more probable that it was hallucination than something real. And so that dismisses it right there. The probability is much higher that you were hallucinating than that it was real. And that's the end of the story for them.
Well, that's really bizarre, because that's something that I would really get into. Because I would be like, I really don't think I was hallucinating.
No, I'm not on drugs. I know what I've seen.
I wasn't drinking anything but Diet Pepsi. Yeah, I was driving.
Was clear.
Yeah, I was driving, so I had to be attentive of what I was doing. So I'm like, I don't know that I was hallucinating, so I'm pretty sure I wasn't. As a matter of fact, I'm positive I didn't hallucinate that guy.
Yeah.
So, but they would
not just you. There's lots of people that have these experiences, so that really points to something rather than just hallucination.
But they would say you saw hallucination, and end of story. There's nothing after that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd have a hard time.
Another subject. Even though I haven't experienced ghosts that much or other types of paranormal phenomenon, there is one type that I have experienced really strongly a few times, and that's ESP. And I think that's also a pretty common experience when the form that I've experienced is when something happens to somebody you care about or somebody you're close to, and that person is far